At your age, man. What are you, 46, 48?
Agent 47, the Hitman, Baldy, Howard Webb. Whatever you know him by, he's one of the most iconic and memorable video game characters ever. And even if you're not a fan of the Hitman games, you cannot deny his icy charm. Yes, finally the next installment of the hilariously violent Hitman franchise is back. This time looking to repeat the success of fan favourite Blood Money of 2006, after Absolution of 2012 had some fans actually really hating on the game, and left others scratching their heads trying to work out exactly what it was about it that didn't feel right. Maybe it was the fact that the story felt a little cartoonish, in an era when games begin to emulate real life. Maybe it was because every time you wore a disguise, everyone who was in that disguise saw that you were fake. Maybe it's because the levels didn't feel vast enough? Well, the main problem for me in Absolution, although I did still enjoy the game, was the more restrictive levels and their smaller sizes. Technically it was a great game, it had some great visuals and some creative ways to kill people, but it seemed to forget some of the things that made Blood Money such a hit. And to be honest, I wasn't such a big fan of 47's bushy eyebrows. Cue Hitman of 2016 and March's intro pack. The first episode of the new Hitman experience, and yes, I said episode. Every month, players will get a new episode which includes a new location, new targets, plot development and things like that. This month we're exploring a Paris fashion show. Before we get into that though, and before players get to experience France for the third time in a Hitman game, we have two small prologue missions to get out the way. The reason they are here is to introduce the players to the mechanics of the game and give them a feel for its assassin-y ways. And really that's all there is to it. For me, there's no real replayability there, unless you like to collect trophies or achievements, and I just wanted to jump into the full experience. The prologues do set the scene for the franchise as a whole though. We see then quote-unquote clone 47 being introduced to his future handler Diana, and the concerns and questions the agency have about taking on a guy like this. Fast forward to the year 2017 and we're in Paris, the real reason to buy this episode. You're given a whole palace to explore, as well as a basement and vast grounds, depending on your sneaking skills of course. And there isn't one room that is not accessible one way or another. A map this size and this rich in detail and objects and people and life means that you'll be stumbling across new opportunities for hours and hours after you first jump in. So, why are we in Paris in the first place? Well, without spoiling the whole plot, because, let's be honest, there's not a whole lot here. There are two very rich, very powerful and very dangerous people who pose a threat to world security. And that's all I'm going to let slip, but really there isn't a whole lot to write home about anyway. So let's talk about gameplay. This is a Hitman game, so you can expect a lot of disguises and a lot of perks that come along with these disguises. This is a fashion show, so expect to be dressing as a stylist to access the backstage area, or an armed guard giving you permission to walk around with a big ass assault rifle, or, better still, a sniper rifle on your back wherever you go. Now the first challenge is in how you acquire them. And before you enter a mission, you're given the option to plan your loadout, let's say. You have a choice of a syringe, some explosives, fiber wire, and you can even have guns smuggled into preset locations around the map. Plus you're given the ability to choose your starting location. Any or all of these things combined can help you in obtaining that elusive uniform you need to access those otherwise prohibited areas. And this is the real fun of Hitman. You get that unparalleled cool feeling that you're a different person and exploring areas that you never saw before or that you never even realized existed is a truly exciting experience. Now the next step is to take down the target, and again where Hitman shines is in the amount of options you're presented with. For me, the least fun way, although everyone tries it every once in a while, is to go on a shooting spree with no care for personal safety, no prior planning needed, just go in all guns blazing and leave. However, it isn't as easy as it sounds, as 47's health has been dramatically reduced and it only takes a handful of bullets to take him down. So, in a way, knowing this, it forces the player to be more intelligent, more patient, and plan a bit more, which is absolutely a good thing. There are also accidents to cause, such as falling chandeliers and poisoned food of course, but knowing that the game is at its best when you find things for yourself, and being a player who personally hates spoilers, I will leave the rest a secret. The next thing absolutely worth mentioning is the conversations you will hear around the palace. Listen carefully, and you could catch some valuable information regarding people your targets need to talk to, where they will be, what they need, etc. These are called opportunities, which you can ignore or take on. If you choose to accept, the game kind of holds your hand through the whole process, from finding the objects or disguises you need to what you need to do with these objects, and in my opinion, I wasn't really a fan of the babying, although I did enjoy finding new opportunities and then having Diana give me even more information in the opportunity debrief, which I thought was a nice touch. And some of these conversations may not even be these so-called opportunities. No, some conversations are there simply to add to the lore and the history of the story, and can be really interesting to listen to, and as you can see, I really appreciate things like this because they help deepen the immersion.
This'll be over in no time.
Next we have graphics, and boy does this game impress. I was taken aback every time I would walk up a set of marble stairs and see how the light shines on the marble wall, and then see how the light reflects differently when bouncing off a grand canvas painting. Everything in this map expresses magnificence, and you'll see polished gold trimmings and decorations, large mirrors that actually have true reflections and not just an estimated reflection, beautifully intricate rugs, and rich mahogany wood floors. And in contrast to the splendor of the palace is the dark, lost attic, which houses boxes and boxes of unwanted God knows what, ideal for cover, and busts perfect for smashing around the head of an annoying guard, or to use as a distraction if you want to play like a ghost and never be noticed. I was also really impressed with the dust effect. You can see tiny particles of dust floating through the air up in the attic, and it really looks fantastic. Where the game starts to fall though is in its network issues that both PS4 and PC players have experienced. I'm playing on the PS4, and a few times I've experienced not being able to log into the servers at all, and I even got the dreaded error message, "You have been disconnected from the servers, now going to the main menu." And just like that, unless you connect to the servers right away again, you will have to restart that attempt, because offline and online saves are different, and you cannot load an online save while you're offline. If you want the full Hitman 2016 experience, you're going to want to play online, because this is where you can attempt challenges, try out new opportunities, and get your scores on the leaderboard, which at the time of writing is slightly buggy itself, because there is a glitch that I achieved on multiple occasions, which gives you an extra 110,000 points for apparently completing the run in 0 minutes and 0 seconds, and I'm still confused as to how this glitch is triggered. Another part of the game that let me down was the AI. It doesn't seem to faze people, although they might make a comment, and it definitely doesn't raise suspicion of guards if you 1. Walk around in a crouched position, 2. Run everywhere, 3. Exit a room that you shouldn't have been in plain view of an NPC, 4. Climb up drain pipes, and 5. Vault over low walls or top floor balconies. These are things that normal invited guests wouldn't do at an upper echelon event such as a Paris fashion show, and the fact that the game lets you get away with these things without even a smidge of danger is slightly disappointing. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're being hunted down by guards for a crime, and you start climbing up a drain pipe for a quick escape, they will absolutely unleash hell on you, and I'm not trying to say it puts you in a little bubble of invulnerability. These things being said, Hitman is a great game, and a fantastic reboot of sorts to one of game's leading stealth franchises. The sometimes flat AI is not game-breaking, and there is still time to improve the network issues. But what the game does well, playing like an absolute ninja, going in, taking out your mark, and leaving without a trace, the feeling that I did that, and the complete full reign the game hands you to do whatever you like, however you like, greatly outweigh the bad. And if this is what a Parisian palace can offer me, then I cannot wait to see what tricks Episode 2's Italian village has up its elegant woolen sleeves.